In August of 2006, my husband, two sons, and I moved from California to Maine for work. In December of that year, I got a call saying that my father had possibly had a stroke and wasn't expected to live. I should fly back to California to see him. Even though the move took most of our money and we were trying to recover from that, we scratched together enough money for a round-trip flight the next day. Turned out that my dad had melanoma, which had metastasized into his brain, liver, and lungs. He'd lost his ability to speak, but told us that he refused chemo. The oncologist gave him 6 weeks to 2 months to live. He and I said our tearful goodbyes. My father and I had always been at odds with one another, but during that short time together, I told him how I had become the person I am because of his ideals, and he told me that he was proud of me, something he'd never told me before. I flew home convinced that that had been the last time I'd see him. On the flight home, I sat next to an airline employee. Somehow she and I struck up a conversation, and it turned out we had something in common. She was flying home after seeing her brother who'd been hospitalized due to a tapeworm in his brain, and he was experiencing stroke-like symptoms. She asked if I'd be flying out to see my dad again anytime soon, and I told her how difficult it had been getting a flight out to see him in the first place. She handed me her business card and told me that she would pray for the best possible outcome for us, but if it came to the worst, to call her. 6 weeks from his diagnosis to the day, my dad succumbed to the cancer in his brain. I was struggling to figure out a way to get to my mom to help her with arrangements and attend his funeral. I remembered the business card the airline employee had given me, and I called it. She couldn't have been more supportive, and considering I was struggling, she told me she had it all under control, not to worry. An hour later, she called me, telling me she had emailed me with my flight information. She outlined where I needed to be and when in this email. When I showed up at the airport, there was a group of airline employees waiting for me. They took care of my luggage, babied me, even in economy class, and at each of my connecting flights, another group of employees would greet me, bringing me drinks, magazines, and snacks, making sure I made my connections on time, and offering me condolences. To me, this was way above and beyond anything I would expect from a casual interaction on a flight with a former stranger. To this day, I won't fly on any other airline, and I have always found ways to pay that kindness forward to others. Years later, my wallet was stolen, so I don't have her business card anymore, but I will never forget her kindness.